ladies and gentlemen of the internet. This is your boy J Reaper 2012 coming to you live, ironically, from my lift car to bring you a breakdown of One Piece chapter 907. Now I gotta do this a little bit quick between rides, but I just wanted to get my thoughts out there into the community before the chapter dropped. I mean, the chapter started out with none other than Big Mom, in my opinion, sunning Kaido at every chance she got in the conversation between two Yonkos. It brought me right back to when Shanks pulled up on Whitebeard and they had their clash in the middle of the sea. That part of the skies. The hockey was too intense for all of us to take at that time. And this hype is no different. You got Big Mom telling Kaido that she is the one that has to take the head of Straw Hat Luffy. He telling her, Linlin, if you show up to Wano, I will kill you. She says you can try. You're more than welcome to try. Now, this turned the tide for me, in my opinion, to Big Mom in relation to Kaido. Because when her and Luffy had their interaction in Whole Cake Island, she said that she referred to Kaido as that thing. You won't be able to defeat that thing. It gave me the impression that Kaido was somehow stronger than Big Mom, and that Big Mom had already conceded this fact. Now, in this conversation, she's telling him, you more than welcome to try. This is fair warning. It's not up for debate. And it makes me believe that she has a shot in that fight if they would at some point go one-on-one. Also, it brought up this life debt that Kaido owes Big Mom. What is this life debt? Now, I'm pretty sure we probably won't get any type of clarification on that anytime soon. But I would love to know, what in the world will have one Yonko indebted to another, to the point where she thinks that she could tell him what he's going to do and he has to listen? Next, we move on to the Marines listening in on this conversation, because these Yonkos are so powerful they don't even care if they're wiretapped. And with Big Mom's information network, you would know she would know if she was wiretapped. Kaido, I'm not so sure. He's a lumbering drunk. I don't think he cares one way or the other. But Big Mom would know. They're just so powerful that it doesn't matter. You got Akainu and Borsalino, my man Kizaru. Over here in this conversation, Kizaru is ready to pull up Akainu, being the strategist that he is, tells him, no, wait. We don't know how strong the samurai of Wano country are. Now, in my opinion, I believe this was done simply just to bring up the hype a bit more for Wano, as if Wano needed any more hype. People have been waiting on this for 20 years. 20 years. I don't think we're going to ever be to a point where has been as hyped as Wano is. But it does raise the question, what would happen if Kizaru rolled up on two Yonko? What do you think he would be able to do? In my opinion, not much. Now, his fruit gives him a slight advantage over anybody, because it's not you can't hit what you can't see. And this man is lightning fast, aka light fast. I don't know if he's FTL, but he's definitely as fast as light. And I think he's as fast as light even without his Yada Mirror, which is supposedly one of his fastest attacks. I think he can move at that rate at all times if he chose to, but his lazy style doesn't really showcase that too much. But we see that Akainu as Fleet Admiral is a lot more collected than he was as an Admiral. At Marineford, he was jumping all over the place. He taking on all comers. Granted, he did have a strategy in place with Squardo to take out Whitebeard, but during the fight, he was just going at everybody. So I didn't think he was that calculated of a person. I thought he was more of a high-headed individual. He's proven me wrong in this chapter, and it gave me a little bit more respect for the character of Akainu. And right after that, we move on to Garp hearing about this situation. And it's nice to see Garp surrounded by vice admirals. You can tell he like the OG of that group. You got a couple of vice admirals that were, I believe, fan suggestions that got made canon this chapter. So shout out to Oda for that, listening to the community and actually putting them in his work. You don't find too many mangaka that would do that these days. But you see Garp, they're telling him about it and he's laughing. He actually goes so far as to say that's hilarious, that two Yonkos are trying to come together take on his grandson. Now, granted, I thought that in this situation, God would be a little bit more proactive, seeing as how he sat there and let Ace die, and then wanted to go rage mode after it happened. I'm like, God, you should have did something before then. You the Marine Vice Admiral, granted you the hero of the Marines, but that doesn't change anything. Blood is thicker than water, in my opinion. But they're having this conversation, and over the course of this conversation, you hear Gup's hero title being called into question. And I believe they were calling into question the fact that in this situation, he might not have been actually living up to it. And in this conversation, you hear them talk about the Rocks. Like Big Mom and Kaido were part of the same crew, this Rocks pirate crew. Now, I believe this to be a falsehood. I believe this to be a misconception on the part of the readership, the One Piece. I believe that these Rocks are not a pirate crew. I believe that the Rocks and the Yonko are one and the same, basically. I believe that their captain, who they lost, was either Whitebeard or Roger. And them losing them and still gaining power is referring to the fact that even though they lost the captain or the pirate king, these Yonkos are still grabbing up territories. They're still becoming more powerful. I do not believe that at this point in the story, Oda would introduce a pirate crew or a person that's stronger than the Yonko right when you got Luffy going into the fort, or Luffy in the middle of the Versus 4 Yonko saga. I don't believe that he would do that, because can you imagine how much longer we had to write the story if outside of the Yonko there was another looming threat out there that was so big that it might eclipse these people, and that if Kaido and Big Mom were on the same crew, could you imagine what they would do? And they were talking about the era before Roger, and I believe that's what made a lot of people come into this misconception, where they believed that because they were talking about the era before Roger, that they automatically had to skip these Yonko, like these Yonko weren't powerful before Roger slipped through and became the Pirate King. But Big Mom already had rogue poneglyphs. Roger got his rogue poneglyph from Big Mom. She was already in power. She was prominent. She could take out a village of giants at 5. I doubt Big Mom was joining anyone's crew. Kaido is the same. I don't think he will be joining the crew. I think that these people were born leaders. I think these people, while they might have worked with other people, I definitely don't think that they worked under other people. So, unless Oda shows me something different with these Rocks pirates, I've refused to believe that that's an actual pirate group. I think that the word Rocks refers to the 4 pillars of the New World. And they were at that time the Grand Line, because this was before Roger traversed the New World. I believe that these people were the pillars of the Grand Line, holding up all of the pirates and keeping everybody in check like they do in the New World now. Now, another part of this chapter that honestly made me upset that I didn't make a video about it last week, because I just knew that it was going to happen. You see St. Charlos try to enslave Shirahoshi. Now, I thought going into the Reverie arc that at some point they would try to enslave Shirahoshi. I just didn't know who would take her. And I also thought that the fishmen might become slaves again, hold their entire delegation. Now you see St. Charlos, he did this just to have Shirahoshi as a pet, without even knowing that Shirahoshi is Poseidon. So what do you think is going to happen when these people find out that she is an ancient weapon? She is the ancient weapon Poseidon. I think that's going to make this whole situation turn around. And what do you guys think about the Tenryubito who was stranded on Fishman Island and who Orihime nursed and got shot for? Do you think he's really turned over a new leaf, or do you think this is just a way for him to draw the fishermen in closer to their demise and closer to their re-enslavement? Let me know about that in the comments. But we're not going to talk too much more about that. I'm gonna make a video about how I believe that the fishermen will come to be enslaved yet again, and how it'll be up to Monkey D. Luffy to get them out of it. But I'm coming up on my next ride, so I'm had to make this a little bit faster. The last part of the chapter, one of the most hype moments, probably one of the moments that nothing really happened yet, but you see the 5 stars of the elder statesman of Tenryubito, the Gorosei. The Gorosei, they in there, the room of authority. How crazy is that? I feel like they overcompensate for something. Your room of authority has to actually be called the room of authority. I doubt that. That makes me believe that it's someone above them. There's no way that they will throw their authority around in Mary Joa like that if they didn't have an absolute reason to. But you see these people, you see the Tenryubito in the room, and they're speaking to a hooded figure, which already gave me pause. I didn't know who this hooded figure would be. I didn't expect it to be who it was. I was thinking maybe dragon as a declaration, but no. They said we'll speak to you because of who you are, although you don't belong in these political talks. And it's Shanks, red-haired Shanks, pulling up to the Holy Land, a Yonko, pulling up to the Holy Land solo dolo by himself, which makes me believe he could have probably 5v1'd them and knocked them down right there, took out the Tenryubito if he wanted to. Which makes me believe that the pirate who he was there to discuss was Blackbeard. He tried to warn Whitebeard about what Blackbeard did. He showed him the scar. Whitebeard didn't listen. He let his son go out there and die. Because Whitebeard believes all of his crew are his sons. So he let Ace go out there and die. He's gonna try the same thing with the world government. And I believe that the world government, while pushing him off, are ultimately going to listen to what this man has to say. They're going to say, oh, well, we know about Blackbeard. We know about the fact that he has 2 devil fruits. But in the conversation, I believe that Shanks will reveal something unknown to both the Gorosei and the One Piece community about Blackbeard's ability to receive more than 1 devil fruit. Because I don't think it's limited to 2. And I believe that Shanks has the answer to how he's able to house more than 1 devil fruit without dying. So yeah, I believe that chapter 908 is going to pick up where that left off. They're going to have to give us some part of that, because I don't think that they're going to go back to that huge straw hat that was in the Holy Land for some time. I believe that that's the next lingering mystery to keep us in check and keep us waiting and wanting more from the greatness that is One Piece. So on this note, I'm going to have to end the video because I'm about to pull up to my next passenger. I'm a Lyft driver, and I'm doing this while at work. So this is my first video here on YouTube. This is my first chapter breakdown. If you like anything you heard, or if you want more from me, make sure you like and subscribe down below. And look out for more videos from me in the future. This is J Reaper 2012 signing out. Peace.